Hello, welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Heidi's over there, being silly. Puddles is here.
Hi.
I think Cirrus is over there now, judging by his
Probably.
thing. He just got back from the washroom. Hi, Puddles.
Yeah.
She doesn't like the headphone cord, and I don't like. I can't hold her on the other shoulder. That's just awkward. No, doesn't work. But I can. No. She always looks away from the camera. Why do you do that? She always knows where the camera is and looks away. Okay. Hi. Who's your good girl? The people want to see you. The people want to see you.
Hello, Puddles.
Okay, down you go. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Cirrus? Are you talking but just muted? Why you gotta be like this?
I was trying to see how long I can hold that for.
Just like, I invite you onto my show, and you disrespect me like...
On the day of your daughter's birthday.
On the day of my dog's grooming.
You know, I'm glad I have the context to know that that is not what it sounds like.
Hat. Okay, no, she hates this. She hates this. Okay, bye, Puddles. Yeah, she looked at me like, you better be opening this door and letting me out. I'm done with your shenanigans.
Jesus.
Just turn off that light back there. There we go. Hi, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
I am okay.
That's good. I'm happy for you.
So I was watching the bit of your stream before you joined me.
Yeah.
And the thing that stuck out to me was when she was pushing him on stuff and he kept on defaulting back to, but Hamas. But, you know, I think everybody forgets what happened on October 7th. And like, yeah, what you said about how like that wasn't the start of it. There was a lot of lead up to that, and Israel did a lot of bad stuff leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that strikes me is that I recently perused some some summaries and information about various goings on at the Nuremberg trials, and the Nazis explicitly used, but the Allies did X, Y, and Z bad things at these various other places. Therefore, we should be fine. And it was explicitly ruled at the Nuremberg trials that, much with the "I was just following orders" defense, you can't use the tu quoque as the defense. Doesn't matter what the Allies were doing, you did it.
So, fun fact: I actually had an argument with somebody a few days ago. This is one of those like friend has an opinion and you have to sit there and try to figure out, okay, why do you believe this? Okay, here's where that's wrong. And it was about ICE. And it was about ICE not judging everybody who's in ICE by the people that you see on videos doing the murder of Renee Good and stuff like that. And I just sat there listening and then going, you're right, but I think the Nuremberg trials have an opinion on that.
Yeah, that's
like if the organization is known for doing this shit, I think it's perfectly okay to hold the organization accountable.
The Nazi paper pushers were just as bad as the people pulling the triggers.
I mean, arguably
maybe not just as bad, but
like arguably many of them are worse. Not okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hitler directly killed very few people.
So like the paper pushers, on the one hand, you can say that it's not as bad because they weren't the ones pulling the trigger. On the other hand, you don't get logistics and supply lines to keep an army running, doing the things it's doing without the paper pushers. For every one paper pusher, you feed 10,000 soldiers.
Yeah. So like, as much as they might not be directly responsible, they arguably they're less responsible, but also arguably they are more responsible.
Like in terms of scale,
they enable the whole thing.
So it's one of those things where like I would love to have the opinion, really, I would love to be able to have the opinion that, hey, we can't judge everybody by the standards of the organization by which they are a part of. The thing is that if you are a part of that organization and you have not actively left that organization, at a certain point, where is my judgment supposed to begin and where is it supposed to end? If you have decided that this is how you want to operate. Also, I love when noises are loud and I'm not allowed to turn them off. Thanks, computer. Anyway.
Is that my noise or your noise?
No, it was a noise on my end. It had nothing to do with yours.
Well, I mean, as long as we're going to go down that tangent, can we talk about the eating noises in video games and how there should just be a toggle to turn them all off?
I mean, if Resident Evil 9 has a toggle to turn off spiders, I agree.
I don't need to hear someone go directly into my face every few minutes.
I'm pretty sure that was the Minecraft one.
That's not the one I was going for, but sure. I have begun playing a new video game, Cyrus.
Oh, really? After so many years?
Yes. I started playing Pal World.
Okay.
Because everybody's making a big deal out of it. And I guess it just released its non-beta version. And I was kind of curious to see how close it was to Pokemon. And I can definitely see the comparison. Thank you for the Hydrate, Axo. Like, they definitely open themselves wide open to the comparison. Like, the comparison is obvious. But honestly, gameplay-wise, I feel like it's more similar to Breath of the Wild.
I mean, yeah, it's...
Like, even right down to you climb the tower and you get a map.
Like, it is the generic, I am playing a survival game in a post-Breath of the Wild world game.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Also, I love that my Zoom is frozen. Why is my Zoom...
It's not frozen on my end.
There we go. Nope, it was OBS. I need to reboot my computer. My OBS is being strange.
Oh, fuck you. That means I have to talk to the people all by myself.
No, I'm not... No, okay, no.
Oh, you're streaming from a different computer than your...
No, that is not me saying that I need to reboot my computer right now. I'm saying that in order to fix it later, I will need to reboot the computer. For now, I'm going to sit down.
These are problems for later, Cyrus.
Yeah, for now, I'm going to sit down and fucking deal with it.
Stratahawk's like, a new game? Is this even possible for Vice Rhino? No, it's not. But yeah, I mean, I also the other day I saw the prequel movie to the Hunger Games,
Mm-hmm.
and I found it annoying.
You found it annoying?
Well, because first off, the whole premise of the movie, like, I think there could be an interesting story coming out of the war that led to the Hunger Games in the first place. But this is not that. This starts 10 years after that war, or not 10 years after, but I mean, the main story starts 10 years after that war. It's the 10th Hunger Games is where we're like essentially opening.
Mm-hmm.
And it follows President Snow and how he's basically a good guy, and we watch him go through his villain turn or whatever. Like, these are the
Well,
motivations that caused him to become an evil person. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just like, we don't need a relatable villain and see understandable things that could happen in his life that could make him turn to villainy later on so that you can understand how that happened. People like Stephen Miller exist. Sometimes there's just no reason for it. It's just Stephen Millering. Like, we have records of him being a piece of shit going back to high school. For $5, Spoonbill of Adam says, the thing about military organization is a lot of soldiers don't want to be there, but they feel like they have no other option except abject poverty.
mm-hmm.
So that's the grunts on the ground. That wouldn't be the paper pushers so much. I mean, yeah, there are paper pushers that would feel that way as well, but at the same time,
I know. I understand the there are grunts on the ground thing. I will also say that if you are a person who is being shot by one of the grunts on the ground, they were just doing their job is no comfort to you.
mm-hmm.
And that is the perspective that you have to have when trying people.
Yeah. But back to Hunger Games, the other thing that bothered me about it was just how much fan service stuff just got shoved in there.
Oh?
Like, background characters that had nothing to do with anything in the plot had last names that were the same as some of the last names of characters from the actual Hunger Games movies. And like the person that, like, he's forced to mentor one of these kids, and he ends up mentoring the girl from District 12, and nobody thinks that the girl from District 12 will be able to win the games, but then she does win the games, and then he runs off to District 12 with her. I mean, he gets punished for cheating to help her win, but he gets assigned as a peacekeeper to District 12, and he decides to run off with her or whatever. And then there's they're like foraging for food out in the woods. They're like, oh, here's this thing. It's called a swamp potato. No, most people around here call it a swamp potato, but it's actually called a Katniss. And it's just like, no, we don't need this. I don't need to be reminded of the other movie every 30 seconds. Just make this movie a good movie.
I still need to
Saris, can you move your avatar a little bit? You're like hugging the left wall, and it's bothering me.
It's bothering you?
Yes. Wrong way, motherfucker. Yeah.
I am here to entertain you.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not a fan of the prequel to the Hunger Games.
I have the book. I need to read the book still. There's a bunch of other books that I need to read. So I finally did actually pick up A Short Stay in Hell, and that book was fucking fantastic. So at least there's one thing, but I do need to get through more books.
I am more than halfway through Snuff, and I'm actually a little disappointed with it.
Oh?
Well, it's kind of falling into a lot of propaganda tropes. Of like, this cop is bending the rules, but it's okay for him because he knows that he's after the right guy. Like that sort of thing. And I'm just like, I after all the shit we've seen cops do over the last, like, I mean, realistically, since the police were formed in the United States as replacement KKK slave hunters, but like, in my lifetime, things that I've seen cops do, especially in recent years, and I'm including ICE on the list of cops, but like the George Floyd things, and you go back to the 90s, there's the Rodney King riots. Like after seeing all of this bullshit in my life, I'm just like, no, I don't want cops who go rogue because they are certain they have the right guy. That is how the wrong guy gets executed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
No, I can get that. So, you know what's funny? It sucks that a lot of propaganda shows in general are actually like good shows on their own. Like I know that's why they work, right? It wouldn't work if they were bad. Like if The Rookie wouldn't work if it was a bad show.
Yeah.
But it's also propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, I can't watch The Rookie because I get, like, good show or not, I get distracted by the fact that it's propaganda now.
Paw Patrol is propaganda.
Yes, it is. Yeah, no, that's training little kids that the police are there to help you with call 911 for everything because, like, the turtle not being able to cross the road is an emergency.
Yep. I said it's the fantasy of good cops. And again, it's not to say that there are not good people on the police force, because it would be naive to argue that they are not. Whenever somebody says ACAB, much like how when somebody says they're a socialist, they are talking about a system that they would prefer. When somebody is saying ACAB, they are largely talking about a system and how bad it is to participate in that system.
I mean, I'm tempted to actually that because I'm on Blue Sky. I've seen some of the ACAB posts.
Right.
They do not mean systemic.
So here's what I'm going to say about Blue Sky. That is a bunch of fucking delusional hugbox idiots. I'm sorry, but much like how having an environment that is primarily right-wingers makes them all infinitely more toxic, having a environment that is only the left-wingers, when it's like the broad social environment, not your individual discords, right? When you have this broad social environment that is that, you get a lot of people bouncing ideas between each other and not actually verifying if any of them are salient in any way, shape, or form. Like, you get that on both of those sides. I will argue that our unsalient things are at least not fucking harmful.
You just both sidesed it.
No, both sides is when you're saying that both sides are equally or at least proportionally bad.
Yeah, Twitter is objectively worse.
In every way,
like
I
don't not pull Blue Sky posts because nobody posts bullshit on Blue Sky. It's just a lot harder to find. I have, I think, 2 today from Blue Sky.
Yeah, like, I am in the camp personally.
Spoonbill of Adam would like to know if ACAB applies to military members.
Military members aren't cops. And
what about military police?
Oh my God. So there's also the other. Here's the other reason why I personally have that stance where the ACAB thing is concerned. That it's a conversation about systems, and it should always be a conversation about systems, because if you're not having your conversation about systems, you are divorcing yourself from fucking reality. If your options are, let's say you're a trans person, you can't afford HRT and there is no future that you can envision where you can, but the United States military is willing to pay for your surgery. Yeah. What are your options? Become part of the fucking suicide statistic or learn to fire a gun? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to blame that person.
Yeah. Fennec linked to a Mother Jones article that, judging by the URL, it's about flock cameras replacing police jobs. So they're actually defunding the police by using flock. So that could be a new anti-flock angle. We're here to preserve police jobs. We don't want to defund the police. The flock guys are here to defund the police. What are you doing?
I saw a short that was a guy holding a green laser and just going, okay, I know that
Fennec says it's funnier.
Like, I know that you understand, right, that if you fire a green laser at a flock camera's or a flock camera, you can disable it and blind it forever, and it's irreparable. But why would you ever want to do that? Come on now. And it's just all these different things you can do to fuck with it, followed by, but you would never do that, right?
Oh no, this is the story about how cops have been using flock cameras to like stalk their exes and shit like that.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
You hadn't heard this one?
No, I haven't heard it. I'm just not surprised.
Okay.
But do you have that story up? Is that one of the ones we're covering today?
It was not one of the ones we're covering today because Fennec seems allergic to emailing the stories to me, instead preferring to send them to the chat. I did click it, Fennec. But we have a system in place. And Fennec does email me stories.
Jesus Christ.
I just don't usually use theirs.
Wow.
I don't actually know that that's the case. I forget to credit people often enough that to ask me for any statistics on how often I use any particular individual stories, I couldn't tell you.
Jesus Christ.
Some fluffy Lynn says, "Are you really complaining about how Fennec does your job?" That's part of my job, is complaining about you guys not doing my job for me. So yeah. Okay, should we do Fennec story live?
Sure, let's do Fennec story live.
Okay.
Man, I wish that guy wasn't an alt-writer.
Fennec?
No, not well, one, Fennec's a woman. Two, no, the ShamWow guy, the Fuck It, We'll Do It Live guy.
Oh, that guy.
Yes, him. No, not Fennec. Jesus.
I was very confused there for a second.
Okay, what we
Articles.
got?
We're at Mother Jones. So, flock cameras, solar-powered automated license plate readers weighing less than 3 pounds, blah, blah, blah. We already know what they are. And now dozens of reports are emerging of police using the cameras not to solve crimes, but to stalk their partners and exes. So, over a 2-month period in 2025, Milwaukee police officer Josue Ayala, I don't know how to say Ayala. I think it's Ayala, but I'm not sure. I know Josue, though, because that was my name in Spanish class in high school.
Also, my chat is trying to say, wasn't it O'Reilly who was the guy? I thought it was a news anchor. It's also the ShamWow guy. So, like, remember, the guy to me is going to be where I heard it first, and I heard it first from the ShamWow guy. That's my childhood. Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, once you do a ShamWow commercial, you are just forever the ShamWow guy. That's just, it doesn't matter what else he's done in his career. He is the ShamWow guy. So Josue Ayala searched the license plate number of someone who he was dating over 200 times, according to court documents. He also searched for his partner's ex. Another Milwaukee officer, Tarangi Chapman, was assigned to investigate Ayala's case. Ayala was charged with misconduct, resigned, not re-signed. I know that word. I speak English. Although, sir, along those lines, you were using the word disillusioned with referring to dissolving countries.
Was I?
Yeah, that's not the correct word for that. You used it twice. The first time I thought it was a misspeak, but then you said it again.
I don't even remember saying it.
You did, talking about like the Ottoman Empire was disillusioned, and so I'm picturing like the Ottoman Empire just being like, "Aw,
they're apathetic." They're not the Ottoman. They're the apathetic empire.
No, not apathetic, just a little sad. A little sad. Ottoman Empire's a sad little boy. So Chapman was investigating Ayala, and then he too was charged with misuse of GPS information. Because while investigating Ayala, he allegedly engaged in the exact same misconduct using the technology to track people in his own life.
Great.
So the Institute for Justice, a libertarian public interest law firm, identified at least 24 similar cases. I hate how often I'm agreeing with libertarians these days.
Oh, because like
the ones that are sticking to their principles are anti-Trump.
Yeah. And then you get the ones that are like, I'm libertarian. That means I'm anarcho-capitalist. That means everything Donald Trump does makes me want to lick his taint. No,
the actual libertarians that are serious about it are anti-Donald Trump and hate what he's doing with ICE and border control and signing up with Israel and all that bullshit. So it's one of those, like, we're on the same side, but for very different reasons. But,
Something classical liberal has entered the chat.
yeah. You do not, in fact, have to hand it to something classical liberal.
I got a friend suggestion for that guy today on Facebook, right?
Which guy?
Carl Benjamin.
I know that that's a reference to something, but I don't know what it's a reference to.
That's Sargon of Akkad.
You don't, in fact, have to hand it? That came from Sargon?
No. When I said the classical liberal thing, because Sargon's the one who always tries to backpedal to, I'm actually a classical liberal.
No. He was pulling that from like the Mises Institute and bullshit. They've been doing that bullshit since before Sargon was ever a YouTuber. And I know because I was a libertarian before Sargon was ever a YouTuber, and I was on the classical liberal bandwagon. So fuck that. It did not originate with him. He is not smart enough for that.
Jesus.
Yeah, so the libertarian public interest law firm identified at least 24 similar cases nationwide of officers using automated license plate readers cameras to stalk romantic interests over the past 2 years. Nearly all the officers were criminally charged and lost their jobs. Good. It's a shame you can't have the same...
They weren't just shuffled to a different precinct?
Yeah, like it's a shame that you can't have similar consequences for when they actually murder someone. So Olivia Williams says, seeing libertarian thought leaders support Trump is why I stopped being a libertarian. Yeah, that if you actually believe it, that'll do it. So this month,
Marco says you've been keeping up with the Lotus Eater BS. It's basically Tradcath and everything but explicitly mentioning God. I know the term Lotus Eater, but I don't know what you're talking about specifically.
I mean, I know that a lotus is sometimes a euphemism for the vagina. So, in that sense, I'm a lotus eater.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sense that it was being used in for you, I very much doubt that I would be in that group.
Man of 1,000 Names says, by the way, so I'm going to say a word, and then I'm going to follow it up with, please don't do anything about it. By the way, Vice Rhino's stream is currently tagged as a rerun. Now, I'm going to follow this up with, I do not want Vice Rhino to go and try to solve this problem, because in so doing, we'll be here for another 15 minutes.
I didn't even know that reruns were a thing on Twitch.
Mm-hmm, they are.
Is it an auto tag?
I am uncertain.
Huh. Okay, well, whatever. I don't actually fucking care. I have 18 viewers right now. That's about the same as I normally get, so it's not affecting anything.
Hell yeah.
I'm super popular. It still blows my mind that puts me in the top 1% on Twitch.
Yup.
So this month alone, at least 6 new cases were reported in local media outlets beyond Chapman's case in Wisconsin. Officers in Illinois, South Carolina, Texas, California, Georgia all lost their jobs due to alleged misuse of flock cameras. Spoonbill of Adams said, went from a Harper supporting Christian to a left of Canadian liberal atheist, so moving in a progressive direction. So fun fact, even when I was a conservative, I thought Harper was kind of... looking back on it now, I know he was absolutely terrible. I mean, not as terrible as certain other previous prime ministers, but I didn't he was just like, okay, that's our guy, I guess, but I don't really like him. Kind of like how I feel about fucking the liberal guy now. What's his face? God damn it, I know his name. Mark Carney, that's the one. At first, he was actually doing really, really well. But then he came out and was like, yeah, no, the Iran war that Trump started, it's got, there's some important things that we need to accomplish with that. So I think in the end, it'll be worth it.
It's so funny. I thought we ended this war when we handed $300 billion to Iran, and we're still here.
That was another one of my comments on your stream that you did not see, was how you were like, oh, Trump says he stops all these wars, but he can't even stop this one. It's like, I beg to differ. because of how many times he has stopped this one, he has stopped like 50 wars now.
Okay.
It's just that 39 of them are the same war. And the other ones are made up. Looking at you, Azerbaijan.
The Iran War, where the sides are made up and the points don't matter.
Oh, the points matter very, very much to the people who are losing. And honestly, I don't think either side's really winning, so
We're just kind of here.
just kind of here.
Sad and mad.
But doesn't starting a war negate stopping war? Shh, we don't talk about that.
Well, if we only start it
that's
once,
right.
but we stop it like...
It's not Azerbaijan, it's Azerbaijan.
So if we start the war once, but we stop it like 15 times, doesn't that mean that we actually...
CNN's official count was up to... last time I saw it was like 39.
Jesus Christ.
Like actual times when he announced that the war was over.
It's just never going to be over at this point. It's just not a thing.
Nope, he got us into a forever war. And you know it from his rhetoric, because he's going around being like, oh, it's not so bad. It's only been happening for like 6 months now. But, you look at Vietnam, that was 19 years. Like, okay. Afghanistan was 20 years. And you were like, that's a forever war. We need to pull out of Afghanistan. He set Biden up for failure with that. And then Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, and now he's taking credit for ending the Afghanistan war. And, but like, he started the next one, which is objectively worse.
Welcome to America. We love everything we do to every other country.
Lesson Lucid says, wait, you mean Trump didn't stop the Dr. Seuss butter battle? So it's the Tweedle Beetle battles. So the Tweedle Beetle battle in a bottle, and the bottle's got a puddle. And the bottle's on a poodle, and the poodle's eating noodles. I have children. I know that book.
The whomst?
The Tweedle Beetles. The Tweedle Beetles battle in the bottle on the poodle, and the poodle's eating noodles, and the bottle has a puddle.
I repeat, the whomst?
Have kids sometime, Cyrus. You'll figure it out. It's Fox and Socks.
Yeah, eventually.
Is Rhino having a stroke? No, I'm remembering Fox and Socks, and I'm doing a much better job of it than I thought I would.
He's having a stroke.
Wasn't all in the right order, but all the words were there. My God, guys, do you guys not know Fox and Socks? It's a classic.
He's having a strong...
It was Luke Luck's Blue Lake that always threw me off. It's Luke Luck licks lakes and Luke's duck licks lakes.
Whomst what?
Luke Luck,
Everything?
Luke Luck licks lakes that Luke's duck likes, and Luke's duck licks lakes that Luke likes.
I think I'm having a stroke.
It's Dr. Seuss, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Here's a whomst.
Like, friggin' green eggs and ham make sense compared to that book.
I mean, to be fair, that is Ted Cruz's favorite book.
Duct Tape Jake says, I have 2 kids and I have no idea what Fox and Socks is. I don't know how old your kids are, but buy that book right now and read it to them. It is amazing. It's a great book for teaching them how to read. By which I actually mean it's a terrible book. Don't actually use it to teach them how to read, but it's a good book for explaining that like even adults have trouble with it sometimes, because it's a very hard book to read. It's fun though. If you get the cadence down, it can be pretty fun.
It sounds like you've got the cadence down.
You know what? It's been years since I read that book, so I am actually impressed with myself right now.
You know what? You should be.
I should be. That is my accomplishment in life. Remembered part of Fox and Socks several years after having read it. Okay. Chad Marlowe, a senior policy counsel at the ACLU, has been following the technology and privacy issues for over a decade. The tracking of an individual vehicle as it moves throughout an area can reveal very deeply personal and private information, not only about the vehicle, but the person operating it. That is Flock at its most dangerous. Also worth mentioning is I always fucking forget his name, and then somebody in the comments reminds me of it, but the musician turned gray hat hacker who he exposed many of the vulnerabilities, like security vulnerabilities with these flock cameras, explained just like he didn't show how to do it, but he demonstrated himself doing it and showed just how goddamn easy it is to hack into these things and download all of their information, like whether that be video footage they have or times they tagged a license plate or anything like that.
You wouldn't download a car.
No. I would 3D print one, though. So Flock, in response to his video, they put out a statement being like, no, it's he was using old cameras. We're actually like really, really up to date. Everything's super duper great. It's amazing. There are no security vulnerabilities. His response to that was to go out to a Flock camera, read the security statement that the CEO had written to the Flock camera, then go home and download that video from the Flock camera and post that on YouTube.
Jesus.
So that's how seriously these people are taking your information. When they collect data about you, incredibly private data about you, it is barely protected, takes almost no effort to actually hack into these things and download the stuff. So it doesn't have to be police officers doing this. It could just be potentially like rapists, child traffickers, just
random person,
friggin' burglars that are casing your neighborhood. So yeah, Flock bad.
Flocks and socks and walks and talks and shocks the jocks and walks the box.
Okay. The worst part about that is that now I don't know whether Piper is going to pull all my Dr. Seuss crap out of the Flock video and put it into the random we're off topic part of the video, because you took the random Dr. Seuss bullshit and tied it into the Flock thing. So now it kind of has to stay here, or what you said.
It kind of has to stay.
Well, yeah, I mean, or Piper could just take this and all my Dr. Seuss stuff out and we can just make it look like you had a stroke. I think we'll do that. So Piper, cut all this out, and right after Cirrus is done saying that, jump to this part. Cirrus, are you okay? Did you just have a stroke?
I think I'm fairly certain I had something close to one.
That was definitely not a reference to something that happened in a different segment of this stream.
Definitely not. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
It is purely a referendum on exactly what happened right now.
Okay. So, yeah, that's cops are using Flock to stalk their exes. I don't actually understand that. Like, they're saying they were stalking their partner's ex. Like, I don't want to know what my partner's ex gets up to. Honestly, I'd be happy if the man just fell off the face of the planet.
You gotta remember, though,
the less I hear about him or know about him, the better.
But you gotta think, these are a bunch of, like, machismo-filled idiots who need to feel like something in their life is going well, and control over partner, and inadvertently part of that is understanding everything going on with people who could possibly try to get with partner.
Sounds like it's based in massive insecurities that they have, which I don't know, seems to me that that's not very masculine to be so insecure about yourself.
Yeah, I would agree.
But hey, we all express our masculinity in different ways, right?
Yeah, some of us with walks and socks and talks.
God damn it. Okay, moving on. Judge rules that Trump must hand over records sought by BBC in defamation case. So, Trump is suing the BBC for, again, $10 billion. And apparently
he's just out of money.
No, he can't be out of money. Not with the way he's raiding the public coffers. That's not fucking possible. Like, maybe he was before the presidency, but not now. So the thing that happened that's causing him to sue is that there is a British documentary show called Panorama, and they edited they played a bunch of clips from his speech on January 6th. And the clips
Okay.
that they played made it look like he encouraged them to go storm the Capitol.
But
Because that's what he fucking
He
did.
did. Like, that's...
And so, but he's suing them for defamation, being like, you made it look like I said to go storm the Capitol. So even though that's objectively what I said. But the thing is, because Spoonbill of Adams says, speaking of... God damn it, this is... Got to go back to the other topic now. Speaking of surveillance, we've got our own issues in Canada. Bill C-22 is pretty bad. Yeah, I know. Olivia Williams says, who has been a member for 25 months now, says he made billions since becoming president in 2024. Yes. Anyway, I forget what I was saying about the actual news article that we're talking about now. So he's suing them for $10 billion. And the thing is, so one of the things he's suing them for is actual monetary damages. Like, you doing that to me has cost me money. And so the BBC is like, okay, if it has cost you money, then surely you can show us your financial statements to show that you don't have the money that you should have from this, right?
Yeah, show us the damages.
Show us on point to the paper where the documentary hurt you. And the judge was like, yeah, show them the papers. And this is also, it's been a rather lopsided discovery process. So the BBC has produced over 87,000 pages of documents, while the Trump, not the defense, the other one.
The Trump admin?
The Trump administration, sure. They have only produced 735 pages, and most of them were like news articles from the internet. Spoonbill of Adams says, sorry for the delay, typing is hard. Whenever I see a delay like that, I always just assume it's a stream delay. Because depending on where you are and what friggin' nodes you're connected to, stream could be quite delayed at times.
Man with a Thousand Names says Trump would sue Reality for defamation if he could. I mean, if he thought it would give him a penny, yes.
Yeah. So what's actually funny about this is that the BBC is using we've provided 87,000 pages of documents. They've only provided 700. One of the common tactics that you use in the discovery process is you provide way too much information in the hopes that they won't have time to get to all of it. And so the actual pertinent stuff will be buried somewhere in the middle. So this almost, like, I don't know if 87,000 pages is actually reasonable in this case. But, there is a big discrepancy between 87,000 and 735. But also, I feel like most of Trump's documents would be incriminating in one way or another. So
yeah.
Even if they did try that, something else would come out from it.
Very likely. But you are probably right. It would end up being another Epstein Files situation where there's so much and so many to go through that
but this time it would be in the hands of a news organization that is based not in the United States.
I mean, you're not wrong. At the same time.
So the whole basis for this lawsuit is when Trump complained to the BBC about them making him look bad because he did a bad thing. The BBC chairman, Samir Shah, wrote a letter to Trump where he apologized. And he apologized that the clip gave the mistaken impression that President Trump made a direct call for violent action, because the words that he said were making a direct call for violent action. So it's hard not to do that. But because he wrote a letter of apology, the Trump team took that as this. See, this is an admission.
This is their
guilt.
W.
This is the admission. They have said that they did something wrong. So let that be a lesson to you. If you're ever in an accident or something, do not ever apologize to the other person. Because then when they're suing for medical damages or whatever, they're gonna use that as fault. They can be like, hey, they apologized to me, which means that they felt like it was their fault. So the fact that they're up here in front of the court saying, no, it's not my fault, that is wrong. So never apologize when you're in an accident. You shouldn't even, like, depending on how bad it is, you shouldn't even talk to the other person. Like, last accident I was in, I was rear-ended, and I was driving a beater car that I didn't really care about, and I was late for work. So I, like, just got out, looked, was like, it's dent in the bumper, whatever. I'm fine. Are you okay? Just go away.
Yeah. I haven't been in an accident like that yet, thankfully, so that's not something I've had to learn, but I am happy to have the information now before I do.
Yeah. I feel like you could get trapped by that very easily.
Yes, I talk too much.
Now, I know there are sitcom episodes that go into that. I don't think the sitcom episodes are actually accurate to the law, being sitcom episodes.
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't actually completely fuck you over, but still. Anyway, moving on. This one was sent to me by my anonymous source. Oh, new hat. Before we get into that.
What did Anon tell us this time? What we got?
So, my anonymous source, let's call him Q. It's Q Anon.
All right, Sean Delaney.
No, it's not Q. So, church says Native American rituals are idol worship and won't leave the reservation.
So they're invading native lands? Because that's what that sounds like.
The Christians are invading the native lands. Yep. This sounds kind of like circular history here.
I think we've been here before. Have we been here before? I think we've been here before.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not the original settlement, it certainly sounds like residential schools.
Yep. Man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be in this timeline where this shit still continues to happen.
So, a Christian church has refused to leave a Native American reservation after its pastor condemned a traditional tribal spiritual practice during a sermon, sparking protests and demands for an apology. Foundations for Nations pastor and founder Sarah Lucas delivered the sermon at the Wind River Reservation in west central Wyoming. And she was delivering it as the Northern Arapaho tribe's Sundance ceremony was concluding, and she said that the ceremony involves a ceremonial pipe known as the Old Man, which is tied to the tribe's creation traditions. And in the pastor's remarks, she denigrated. So the tribal leaders say that the pastor's remarks denigrated sacred cultural practices and have called on the church to apologize or leave the reservation, while church officials have defended their right to preach their religious beliefs. It's like, so, yeah, they're saying you having that pipe is idol worship. And then they're like, hey, we don't like that you're calling our thing idol worship.
It's like, we know what you want to do to people who worship idols. Fuck off.
Oh,
and
just
also
wait till
maybe
you get to
die.
the actual quote. So the quote from the sermon: "The pipe cannot hear your prayers. It is just a piece of material. And the Lord is saying, tear down the idols, tear down the altars, the idol worship." Like, that could very easily be seen as a call to violence.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, they are worshiping an idol, and we're told to tear down the idols.
Like, by what mechanism do you think we tear them down? By what method do you think they cease existing?
Mm-hmm. So the sermon prompted more than 100 Northern Arapaho members and supporters to hold protests outside the church on July 7th, demanding a public apology.
Oh,
3 days later, the Northern Arapaho Business Council told Lucas and her husband Jason that the church had to leave the Wind River Reservation. Olivia Williams says, to Christians, everything is idol worship. Yeah. Me not being a Christian is idol worship to them.
It depends on which kind of Christian, but yes. Like, if you're talking to a Catholic...
the ones that would use Romans 1:20.
Yeah. Like, if you're talking to a Catholic, they don't really see it that way because they have 3 different versions of worship. But if you're talking to a Baptist, then yes, absolutely. That's exactly how they see it.
And the NABC, that's the Northern Arapaho Business Council, so the NABC chair said, just so everyone knows, we told Foundations for Nations and Sarah Lucas that they gotta go. We ain't putting up with their bullshit. Good for you. But Lucas argued that her ministry is on private land, despite being located within the reservation, and went ahead with Sunday service on July 12th. Could you just imagine if the situation was reversed? If there was like a little Christian compound and
people were saying that they're not allowed to do that or be that?
Not just that, but like someone of a different religion set up their religious center on their land, but technically private land within their land, and started preaching about how Christianity is evil and you all need to leave Christianity.
I can imagine. The Christian persecution complex is, it is what it is.
Yeah, so Foundations for Nations is located near Arapaho so they are within the reservation's exterior boundaries, but the church does sit on privately owned land rather than tribal trust land. So they're on the reservation, but it is technically private land. So it's one of those, like, yeah, it looks really, really bad, but is technically allowed.
My neighbor's fence goes this far into my yard.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things.
Basically. And from the natives, they say you just don't go into somebody's homeland and talk about their beliefs and mock their beliefs and cut their beliefs down. He said in his Facebook post that Lucas' sermon recalled earlier efforts by Christian institutions to suppress indigenous religion and cultures. Yeah. You think the people that, like, within living memory were subject to the residential school fiasco, do you think they're really going to be happy about Christians coming in and being like, oh, you guys are worshiping idols, we need to do something about that? And what's more is this church is doing church things, so like they're also running like children's programs and stuff for the kids at the reservation.
So they're also teaching those kids to be assholes like this.
It's not as bad as the residential schools, and that is probably not being forced upon them. But, like, they're still taking Native American kids and being like, your culture is evil, it's of the devil, you're idol worshippers. And same guy said, this is 2026, and they still have the mentality of kill the Indian, save the man.
Yep.
So,
and it never ends.
Yeah. Christians being bigots, and then complaining that people not tolerating their bigotry is Christian persecution.
A form of bigotry.
Jas is asking, was there a residential school in the U.S. too? I thought it was just Canadian. Yeah, it was in the United States as well. There were differences, of course. I think the United States...
Huh? My appointment is September 23rd at 2.
Okay.
So,
I love you.
I think the American residential school system ended a little bit before the Canadian one.
Hold on a second, Rhino. I'm going to have to mute for a minute.
Fine.
Yes.
I don't know when I'm going
You're not muted.
to get the information on the flight.
I recognize I'm not muted where your thing is concerned. Give me a second.
Okay.
Where's Zoom?
I just don't want you giving private information on the stream.
I am just also... Oh.
There we go. That sounds better. I know he's talking to Saki. That's what concerns me, because she was saying something about an appointment, and I don't want him to be like divulging personal information when he thinks he's muted. Oh. Yeah, so to the residential school thing, yes, there were residential schools in the United States. I think Canada just ended them later. Like the last residential school in Canada shut down in, I think it was 1996. So like within my living memory. So this isn't even talking about historical atrocities or whatever. This is stuff that was happening while I was alive. And like when I think of my government doing things like that, it always seems like it's a far away and long ago sort of thing. So to like that, when I learned about that, that was very jarring for me, because I thought we were better than that. There's precedent for Sean making jokes about Wolverine. Okay, make jokes about Wolverine. Have fun. I don't know what you're referring to. You know what? Well,
Okay,
sir,
I am back now.
well, then it's your turn. I'm going to get myself a beer. So entertain the guests.
Oh, okay, cool. This helps way more when I have context for what the last thing said was. Said Vice Rhino is being muted by Kevin Sorbo. I mean, I don't feel like Kevin Sorbo would mute Vice Rhino. I feel like he would just try to talk over him. Said chair reaction. Said we didn't hear anything Rhino said either. Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. As one should. As one should. I said he's a sold-out Trump. Oh, we're talking about family issues in the chat. I see. CJ Sonic says how babies are made. Okay, so listen here. We're going to talk about how babies are made. So we're going to begin with listen here, motherfuckers. Babies, right? Nobody fucking wants them. They aren't made. They're cursed.
Preach. Amen, brother.
They are a thing that happens much like a plague.
Oh,
Does that explain it?
that explains it perfectly. Because I had a vasectomy and everything, and then I ended up with 2 more.
Oh, yep. As you do. And said, so they're like bards. Yes, they are a curse in your campaign. They are not something that you generally want, nor should you want. But they will happen to you irregardless.
Longest D&D campaign I played, I was a bard.
Damn. Why?
I don't know. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
I
seduced a little goblin lady.
That is how most bad decisions begin and end.
I mean, mistakes. I've made a few. But we are the champions, my friends.
And you'll keep on fighting?
We'll keep on fighting
I wish you wouldn't.
till the end.
Like, just imagine if you didn't.
One of these streams one day will go by without me bursting into song. But it is not this day.
That won't happen.
I'm sure it will eventually.
No, not really. You see, because the day that you do, you won't think about it, and therefore we won't take note of it.
Yeah, but it will still have happened.
Yeah, but fuck if we'll remember it. If the tree falls in the middle of the forest and none of us are there to remember it.
Yes, it makes a noise.
You can't prove that. You weren't there. I'll
Fucking
go full
sound
Ken
waves.
Ham
It's
on
how
you.
they work, motherfucker.
I'll go full Ken Ham here. But were you there?
Heidi posted in the chat that Puddles would like me to stop singing. She's not even in the room with me, and she's...
Who gives a fuck what Puddles thinks?
Well, I let her out of the room earlier because she was not happy with me grabbing her. Okay, that being under the thing is annoying. So I did hat shenanigans for God Awful Movies.
Yeah?
It's
How'd
live
it go?
now. I think it's on No Illusions channel. It went well. I had the same problem this time as I did last time, where like as I'm listening back to it, I'm like, oh, I was trying too hard.
I think it'll be okay.
I think it was okay.
Like, I think that's just your self-consciousness talking because it's a group of people that you know and respect.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's what happens with me.
I don't know that it's even so much know and respect them. It's that I know that they are funny. And so now it's on me. The pressure's on me to be funny. And like, I have been told that I am funny, but I cannot be funny on purpose.
I think the reason that you are funny is that you don't try to be funny on purpose.
Exactly. So now I'm on a comedy show trying to be funny on purpose.
I have straight up had a friend tell me on stage to stop trying to be funny in front of an audience.
I know.
We've
had this
you will be
conversation.
fine. You will be
I know.
okay.
No, I know. I also fucked up my audio recording, but not so bad that they weren't able to use the backup. It was just my friggin' my audio interface. It's a fancy 8-channel thing, and it has the ability to record all 8 channels by themselves. And that is a setting that I have turned on, and there's no conceivable reason why I would ever turn it off. So I must have fat fingered it or something, or it got factory reset and defaulted to off or something. I don't know. But when I went to listen to the recording, it was the whole recording with everybody on it. And that's a big no-no because they need to have everybody's individual files with just them. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Jesus.
But the fact that I was saved by the fact that I just have a professional microphone and a good internet connection. So
enough things were working in your favor.
Yes. Anyway, moving on. I have just a picture of Donald Trump that I want to show next.
Oh, just a picture of him?
Just a picture of him. I don't
like that.
This was the FIFA World Cup. As everybody's celebrating their soccer win, and Trump is trying to make it about him, and I forget who the other guy is. Is he the head of FIFA that gave him the Peace Prize or whatever?
Why does it look like he's photoshopped in?
No, he's not photoshopped in. He's being pulled off the stage. I've seen the video for this, sirs. He is being actively pulled off the stage because he's trying to make them winning the World Cup about himself. And he wants to be in their pictures.
But he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't. He was rooting. This is the team he was rooting against. He had nasty things to say about these guys. So, like, he didn't even predict the win. But what's great about this, though, is that the official FIFA Twitter account posted a picture from this exact moment. You want to see what their picture looks like?
Sure. He's just cropped out.
They just cropped him out. Like, oh, that asshole doesn't need to be there. Zoop. So, yeah, I thought that was funny.
I agree with FIFA, and I normally don't give a shit about them.
They're a very corrupt organization. So I'm actually kind of surprised that they cropped him out. Because, like, I mean, I guess the World Cup has already happened. They no longer need to suck his dick anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently the United States is going to be Heidi says the U.S. is going to be taxing their winnings while other countries have an exemption for them.
Oh?
So I guess there's a cash prize for the players. And they're getting taxed on it.
Okay.
So, fun times.
I mean, I feel like the entire legacy of the United States at this point is going to be we fuck up taxes. We fuck up taxes when we do it to other people.
How do you pay so many fucking taxes but not have health care? The fuck is wrong with you guys?
You know, it's funny, like, by the numbers, we can allocate I think it's like, what, 65, 70%? It's a decent bit of the military budget, and it gets healthcare for everybody, but that's getting healthcare for everybody at our current inflated prices that are set
and
by
if you actually
industry.
did that and they were negotiated properly, the prices would come down.
Yep.
Not to mention the drop in prices from people not waiting until it's an emergency problem before seeing their doctor, and instead just like going for regular checkups. It's like it still blows my goddamn, like, okay, they charge you for cuddling their baby. Fuck, that blows my mind as well. But what I was thinking of in that moment was it blows my mind that after paying hundreds of dollars per month for health insurance, you go to the doctor, you still have to pay. Like, I got the impression that $5,000 a year is a pretty normal deductible.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you still have to, like, insurance doesn't even come into the equation until you have spent $5,000 of your own money when you are paying them hundreds of dollars every month to cover your medical expenses. How the fuck does that add up?
Well, you see, There's a group of people who like writing a little black book. And in that little black book is a bunch of random fucking prices they've decided on.
Yeah, socialism for the win.
A little socialism as a treat.
Yeah, just do the healthcare. Just do the healthcare socialized. Just have a taste. I promise it's not addictive. It's like the rest of the world is the sketchy socialism dealer. I'm like, come on, just try one. First hit's free. Oh, you already paid.
CJ Sonic says, I think it was filled with the bad people's names. Okay, that's a different little black book.
Well, that's the thing. Like, for so long, I've just kind of assumed that it is a true statement that I pay more in taxes because of, like, and part of that is because of the socialized healthcare and the social safety net and all that shit. I don't know that we do pay more in taxes. Like,
you pay more in taxes, but you don't pay more to live.
No, I think, like, even with taxes, because, like, he's like, they're taxing these guys for winning the World Cup. They're taxing their winnings. In Canada, we have a windfall provision where if you just get a large amount of money from something, it's just not taxed. So, like, if you win the lottery, no tax. If you inherit a large sum of money, there might be a state tax on it the first time, but you don't pay income tax on that when you collect it. If somebody gives you $1 million, you don't pay tax on that. Again, they might have to pay tax on their end, but, like, it doesn't get double tax like it does in the States. So I feel like Americans actually, like, if you look at it tax bracket by tax bracket, like, I guarantee you the super ultra wealthy people, like Donald Trump, pays less tax than either of us.
I mean, we know he does.
So when you get to the ultra wealthy, maybe not, but, like, actual, like, average people, I would be willing to bet at this point that you guys pay more taxes than we do.
Yeah, I can see from that perspective. I just think
I
my
feel like
perspective,
I feel like this isn't a perspective thing. This is a number that could be looked up, but both of us are too lazy to do that right now.
right, which means it's a perspective thing until we look up the hard numbers, which we're not going to do. Right, Rhino?
Right.
Right, Rhino?
Right.
Right. That's why you've got Google up right now, Rhino. Right? Or not Google.
That's not what I'm Googling.
Oh, what are you Googling?
You can't see what I'm typing because you've got the AI filter.
Yeah, correct. It looks like gibberish. Do Americans pay? Do
Americans pay more tax than Canadians? No, on average, Canadians pay more income tax and sales tax than Americans. I didn't say sales tax. How much income? I mean, that is the AI bullshit answer, so maybe it's wrong. Does an American that makes $50,000 per year pay?
Should be like what, $8,000?
AI bullshit answer is between 3,800 and 5,900.
Then I must have made
Canadian,
more in that 1 year than I thought. Oh.
Okay, so Canadian is 13,000 and 36,000. Okay, I guess maybe we do pay more in taxes.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like,
but that's that's not including deductions or anything.
In terms of taxes, you pay less, or you pay more, but in terms of cost to benefit ratios, you get more.
Fennec says don't read the AI overview. So I know the AI overview is bullshit. However, it is probably slightly less bullshit than me and Cirrus sitting here being like, I feel like mine is true. Because it's at least attempting to pull from real shit.
Yeah, it's
I'm not trusting the AI BS. I'm trusting it more than my gut feeling.
Yeah, it's usually got a citation. The citation is often misconstrued.
Reddit. The citation is often fucking Reddit.
It's often Reddit. Yeah, it's a lot of times it's fucking Reddit.
Yeah, no, I don't actually trust the AI bullshit. It is just, this isn't an issue that I'm not doing a deep dive on this. If I was doing this for a video, you can bet your ass I would be scrolling right past that motherfucker and going to the actual sources.
Yeah, but we're not doing this for a video. We're just in a video and doing this. Which is
If this were for a
different.
scripted video where I'm responding to claims.
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay, moving on. MAGA Senator spurs uproar by pushing 7-day work week. So Senator
What?
Rick Scott left the internet. I fucking hate these style of article. He says he left the internet stunned. No, I don't care that he left the internet stunned.
I would care if he left the internet. I think that's a thing he should do, actually.
I think the internet should leave the internet at this point.
To be fair,
Dead
you're
internet
just
theory.
arguing that AI shouldn't be on the internet,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
okay.
good. Like, so,
I
man,
agree.
one of my fucking favorite things. Question one, is AI a tool? Sure. Question two, do you think it should exist? No. What? But it's a tool. Yep. Do you think it should exist? No. Burn it all down.
So
What?
I slight disagree. The
Sure.
consumer-facing AIs that were used, the chatbots and the image generators and that bullshit, no, that should not happen. The research-focused AI, it's been actually doing really well for mathematics, for biology, for medicine. There is a lot of great stuff that it's been doing. If it was specifically that shit, absolutely. I'd be happy with that. But all this consumer-facing bullshit and using it,
Burn
like,
it all down.
putting it in fucking robots and having them, like, yeah,
Putting
no.
putting it in my fucking car so that when I try to navigate somewhere, it tries to have a conversation with me instead of letting me fucking navigate somewhere.
Oh, my car doesn't do that.
Eh.
My
My
car's
car has so instead of having Android Auto, which my last car did, my current car has the integrated Android thing. So instead of being based on whatever settings you have on your
That's-
phone, it's
that's
an
that's the
independent.
first step on getting you to pay a monthly subscription for your GPS.
Yep.
I fucking hate that. New hat time.
No, it threw me for a loop and it made me want to scream. It has made me want to scream several times.
Uh-huh. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my car, but there are a lot of things that it does that I wish that it did differently and more dumbly. It's like anytime it tries to do something intelligent, it's like, I would have actually made a better choice there.
Yeah.
But that's our next news item is AI related, so we can pick up this conversation then.
Sure.
So Senator Rick Scott said, Americans work 5 days a week. The minimum we ought to work is 7 days a week, Scott said. I'm a business guy. Okay. Problem number one. You shouldn't be a business guy while you're in Congress. You should be
Yeah,
a Congress guy.
Like I'd be a-okay if you just stopped being a business guy and
I-
maybe
I would actually be okay if it became illegal for Congress people to own businesses or have significant stake in businesses, not just while they're in Congress, but forever afterwards, in perpetuity. Because, like, if you think you're going to leave Congress and start a business with all these laws that you just passed that would be very beneficial to the business you plan on starting, no, we want you. You are supposed to be governing for the good of the people. So, like, fuck off with that nonsense. You shouldn't be a business guy. You should be a governing for the people guy.
agreed. All the people that say that they want a politician that runs the country like a business, and that's like a major selling
Absolutely
point. That was a
not.
major selling point for Trump.
I mean,
And I'm
like,
just like,
yes, I know that, but absolutely not.
you know how often you see businesses downsize, merge, and just fuck over people's lives because it makes them a little more money? That doesn't make a business run more efficiently. That just makes it a fucking trauma dumping ground.
Yeah, we're in the stage of capitalism where they say, fuck the consumer, we want the line to go up. So they make bad business choices because it makes the line go up now.
And shitification.
Yeah.
Google it.
Read the book. But yeah, so the rest of this article it's the kind of article that I might have been considered an author in if I was still posting on Twitter. Like they're talking about, some so-and-so who has 20,000 followers says this. Like, well, that's how many I had on Twitter. Olivia Williams says, I would have thought MAGA would be for... Oh, I would have thought MAGA
What?
would be for rest on the 7th day. Yeah, that was my first thought when I read this as well. But
I'm just
like,
curious if you want somebody to work 7 days a week. Like we haven't even gotten to the fucking article really, but if you
well,
want people to
there
work
is
seven
no
days a
article. It's
week,
just quoting tweets.
if you want somebody to work 7 days a week, when do they see their kids?
Well, I have worked 7 days a week. It is doable, but I was like, I think the longest stretch I did was I worked, I think it was about 38 days in a row with no day off. I was exhausted by the end of that. I was worn down. Like, it was doable, but it was exhausting. And actually,
Yeah.
I don't track that with my YouTube channel. I've probably done more than 7 days in a row of work with YouTube.
I'm of the opinion that doable but exhausting is a good enough reason to not advocate for it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Because
especially like, even if you're a business guy, you should be looking at all
hello.
the studies that say, hey, we get more productivity out of our workers if we make them work 4 days a week instead of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you actually care about business productivity and not just make line go up, you should be for the 4-day work week. Spoonbill of Adam says, I'd be okay with a 4-day work week. On an unrelated question, why are EVs so bad for everything being electronic, even doors, considering one myself? Yeah, so one of the deciding factors in the EV that I got was that, so I have the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and it is that it has dedicated controls for climate control. It's like, the last thing I want to be doing while I'm driving is feeling uncomfortable and not knowing how to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, or like having to search through menus to fix it. I want there to just be a button there that I push the button and it makes it hotter or colder. Now, they are capacitive buttons. I fucking hate that. I wish they were physical buttons. But that's better than the fucking Tesla thing where, like, turning on your high beams is a menu on the screen.
Fewer menus, please. Just in general.
No, I agree. It's an issue. I love my EV. I love not paying these high gas prices. I mean, I still have a van. It's a hybrid, so it does really good for a van. But man, gas is expensive. And when gas dipped a little while ago, when they signed the memorandum of understanding, we filled up the van while it was low, and we thought we were being so clever about it. And I have no idea how it happened, but I accidentally put premium in the van.
Oh, Jesus.
So I paid now gas prices for what it was when the gas prices were lower. And I didn't realize, I was so fucking mad at myself when I saw the receipt. It's like I was looking at the number go up and I was just like, I feel like it shouldn't be going that high. But like, all these prices are higher than I'm used to, so maybe this is just how it is now. And then, look at the receipt and it's like, oh, I hit premium on the thing. I actually don't know that I hit premium on the thing, because this is a gas station that has had technical difficulties with their pumps before. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just had something that it selected the wrong thing. But like,
It doesn't change the fact that it happened.
It doesn't
and that
change.
It's inconvenient.
Like, I'm not going to go in and make some minimum wage employee's day miserable because I didn't look at the fucking screen when I was pumping.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, that kind of sucked. But yeah, no. So I understand how high the gas prices are right now, and it is so nice. Like, my EV cost me like $50 to $70 per month in electricity. And I don't even have, like, I'm in the house that doesn't have solar panels anymore.
Yeah, mine doesn't cost me a whole lot in the electricity either. And I don't have solar, and my electric bill is exorbitant as fuck. But
Yeah, you're in Georgia.
yeah, my electric bill got lower this time. I was so happy. It went from 480 to 440.
God. Oh, yeah, but that's just what I would be paying in gas if I drove the van everywhere.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no, I wish that they would stop making everything electronic, have physical things. The Ioniq has physical doors. Like, it's still got the stupid handles that like go flush with the car, when you're driving
Hello,
or when
those
it's locked.
things.
And like all else being equal, I'd rather not have that. But like at least it's a physical latch so that if the car loses power, I can still get out of the car.
Yeah.
Spoonbill of Adam says my car takes 91 octane, but the lease is up in 18 months, just enough time to look at getting an EV charger put in. Am I right? Yes, but also depending on how much you drive it,
You might not even need it.
you might not even need it because they will always come with a plug that you can just plug into a normal 120 volt outlet, and it takes fucking forever to charge it. But like if you're not using the whole battery every day,
Yeah, level 1 charging usually gets you about 15 to 20% charge. And 15 to 20% charge is usually enough to like get into town, do errands, and come back without spending the entire battery. For most people.
yeah. So definitely consider that before you. I mean, to be fair, I did have to use just the normal plug for charging while we were renovating for a bit because when we first moved into the house and were renovating the kitchen, they set up their table saw in the garage. And the level 2 charger was like way far back and we didn't have a cable long enough to reach it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we did have to deal with that for a while. And like we have 5 kids that need driving around everywhere. And it was annoying. And there were a couple of times where we had to go to like public DC fast chargers. But like for the most part, it was still doable, even with 5 kids driving all around the Niagara Peninsula. But yeah, level 2 charger, if that is feasible for you, is definitely a little bit. It's more comfortable. Level 1 is
preferred.
doable. Level 2 is comfortable.
Yeah, I'm happy I have my level 2 one finally, but I was on level 1 for like 8 months without too much issue.
Yeah. It's just level 2 is like, it doesn't matter what your battery is when you pull in the driveway. You know it's going to be full in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
We aren't talking about the work week anymore.
I mean, we got here from there, so that can all stay in. Right, Piper? Make it more than 8 minutes? Because this is a short...
Minutes?
I can't fucking
Minutes?
talk. Yeah. Yeah, so what I was going to get into with this one is that, like, everybody talks about how Congress only works, like, 140 to 160 days a year. That's not entirely true because assuming the congressperson is doing their job, the time that they are not in session is supposed to be spent doing stuff like writing legislation or talking to constituents or, like, being on the media, doing public relations stuff. Like, there is stuff they're supposed to be doing when they're not doing that. However, a lot of, especially Republican, I'm sure there are a lot of Democrats doing it too, but a lot of them don't seem to be doing that.
Yep.
But like the setup, like ideally it's supposed to be, you get the big long break. That is the time you're supposed to be reading legislation that other people have written and writing your own legislation so that you can come to the actual session with fully formed opinions and then vote on the stuff that you were writing when you weren't in session. That is the way it's supposed to work. But they all take it off as vacations and stuff, so it doesn't actually work that way.
Yep, Congress will be in session later, probably. Maybe. But don't worry, we have to work.
Grieverblade says, I hate to defend Rick Scott and apologize if it was mentioned, but I think this is out of context. He was talking about the Senate working more, repeating himself from a recent op-ed. I could see that. He could be saying, like, Americans are working 5 days a week, so the minimum we ought to be working as Congress people is 7 days a week. In which case, I actually kind of agree with that. Because reading all the new legislation, if that's what he's actually saying, I kind of agree with that. Because, like, yeah, there is actually a lot of work that Congress people should be doing when Congress is not in session. Unfortunately, a lot of them take off to Costa Rica, Ted. But, yeah. Moving on. OpenAI says its AI technology acted on its own in an unprecedented hack of another company.
It acted on its own?
Yeah, so OpenAI was like, its artificial intelligence system hacked into another AI company on its own in what the company called an unprecedented cyber incident. So I think they actually like had it trying to hack things, but like it was supposed to be isolated, but it broke isolation and then hacked another AI company, which I guess their company is called Hugging Face, which fuck you. That's a stupid name for an AI company.
That is a dumb name. I can agree with that. But what do you mean your AI hacked the thing? You
They
just
are very
left it on
sparse on the details.
you
So-
left it on agent mode and just said, "Yeah, fuck it, it'll sort itself out." Like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
That's the impression I'm getting. So my conspiracy theory here is that because when the first time I read through this article, the impression I was getting is like the idea. So like our AI accidentally hacked another AI company. Wow, AI is massively powerful when it comes to hacking stuff. So we need to use AI to fight AI in the hacking thing so that we can like have our security keep up with it so that all of our stuff can be secure. And that was what was going through my head. And then it occurred to me that like, oh fuck. This could just be them saying that like this is my conspiracy theory is that they fucking faked it so that they could use this as a scaremongering tactic to be like, well, if we don't develop AI, bad actors are going to develop AI and then they're going to hack all the shit. So we need AI to protect ourselves from their AI. So that's why your public dollars need to keep coming to our company.
Trust us with your artificial intelligence.
Yes, exactly. Was that a Doctor Who reference?
No, that was
I'm
Vox.
picturing the guy from the Titanic episode with the shiny
whoa.
tooth who's like winks at the camera afterward.
Marco Joe says OpenAI's model spent around an hour looking for a vulnerability in the sandbox to open a PR. Fucking scroll. To open a PR on a public GitHub repository. It did this because during a task, it was asked to post results of a test to Slack, but some other instructions it came across said to post results as a PR to GitHub. I don't know what the fuck a PR is. And it decided to act on these instructions instead.
PR is public relations, Cyrus.
Is that what it means in this pull request?
I'm sure it does. Nope, it's public relations. This is not pull request. Inquisitive Infidel says Congress puts in big effort to not be responsible. Yes, they do. That's with reference to the last story. Yeah. So, it's scary that AI is so powerful, and it's scary that AI companies are using AI is so powerful, and bad people are going to do it. Therefore, you need to give us all your money so that we can do it better first.
Yep. Trust us with your artificial intelligence.
Especially because, like, there's all the news articles coming out now about how they're considering putting AI into actual combat robots now.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we've like Terminator was not supposed to be an instruction manual. It wasn't. Yet, I would argue that it wasn't even supposed to be a warning. It was just supposed to be a fun romp where a bunch of stuff blew up.
Yeah, but Skynet cool.
Skynet not cool.
Skynet cool.
No.
Why not Skynet?
Make line go down. I want line go down.
Skynet.
I want line go down.
I want Skynet.
No, I want line go down. Make line go down. Everybody line go down and fuck the billionaires. Because they're the only ones who benefit from the line going up, so fuck it. Make the line go down.
Give me Skynet.
Or give me death.
I deserve Skynet. Gimme.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all the news.
Okay, cool. What do we have after the news?
Now, what we have after the news is the tweets, which I didn't.
Trump's blood clot? Why is that not catching up with him?
Yeah, I like the person's username, but oh wait, that's the second one. I think yeah. So anyway, this was the Blue Sky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where are we? There we go. So X Lethality Jane said, I think you're going to have a difficult time convincing families with young children to give up car culture and take more public transit if you also refuse to police behavior on the public transit.
We do police behavior on public transit. It's
Yeah.
just there's a lot of people.
Yeah. And she says, yes, people doing drugs in those places are a turnoff. Yeah, but like, I have sent my child on public transit alone multiple times. I've sent them on the train alone multiple times. To like, we have relatives that live up in Ajax, which is just north of Toronto, so it's about a 2-hour drive. And they occasionally will go up there to babysit their kid. And the way we usually get them there is we will drive to Hamilton, which is like not quite halfway there. And then we put them on a train in Hamilton and they take the train. They go right through downtown Toronto. I think they actually have to change trains in downtown Toronto. So it's like, yeah, the public transit. And here's the thing. Toronto is notoriously bad when it comes to public transit. Like, I've been to Europe. I have been to London, which is not great for Europe, but they have great public transit compared to Toronto. I've been to Berlin. They have great public transit compared to Toronto.
Wait, Zero Life, did we have Trump here in Georgia?
I've been to Florence, and it was so small that I didn't take public transit. We just walked everywhere. We did take a little train from our hotel to city center, but that was it. But yeah, no, like Toronto's public transit sucks compared to Europe. But like, it's still good enough that like we can cut our drive in less than half and then just leave them on a train and they're gone. So like, it's not a den of iniquity like this person is trying to paint it.
I think it's people who like baby liberals is what it kind of reads like to me.
Yeah.
Where every possible good thing that could happen, they're like, but my conservative upbringing says that thing's bad, actually.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's Evan Edinger is a YouTuber that he grew up in conservative America and then he moved to Europe. And then he started a YouTube channel about like, holy fuck, they lied to us about how good Europe is. And like a big focus of his channel is the differences in public transit between different places in Europe and different places in the States. Inquisitive Infidel says, train your kids to recognize bad decisions. Yeah. But Romeo responded to that with, honestly, with a 9-month-old without a car, it would be a logistical nightmare just to make it to his checkups. I feel like a lot of anti-car stuff comes from people who didn't want kids, who don't have kids, to be honest. And so here, the way I see this one, so I live in the Niagara region. We have terrible public transit here. Like, if I wanted to take transit from where I live to another town in the Niagara region, it's probably going to take me 4 hours at least. And like, these are places that are like maximum of like half-hour drive away. So like, we have terrible public transit here. I would never recommend anyone try to make it to all their kids' doctor's appointments in a different town, because like, we don't have family doctors in Fort Erie. They're all in Niagara Falls. I would never tell someone in Fort Erie, no, you shouldn't have a car. He's like, no, I'm not going to say you should go wait for a bus for 3 hours at the exchange location. Spoonbill Adam says Toronto's public transit is as good as about anywhere in North America except maybe New York. Well, so the main big city in New York, in North America that I'm comparing it to, that I've been on the public transit, is New York. So maybe that's why I have that opinion of it.
Be honest, I loved every minute of my time in New York using the public transit.
Yeah, their public transit was amazing. And what's great though is like, as a tourist there, I fucked it up, and the locals they were perfectly happy to help. Like, everybody was like making sure we understood everything correctly. They were being polite about everything. They were great. Like, I don't know where this, like, the grumpy New Yorker stereotype comes from, because they were amazing.
It's because we have the comparison to we have the comparison instead of the grumpy New Yorker of the Southern hospitality. So like, the grumpy New Yorker only really exists because
the grumpy
Southern
New Yorker only
is
exists if you're a tourist standing in the middle of the fucking sidewalk and not walking. But as someone with awareness of people around me, I would never do that. So, but yeah, no, what this strikes me as is the kind of people that are like, oh, because it is not perfect now, we cannot advocate for making it better because it's all or nothing. I'm either saying you can't have a car, you have to do everything public transit.
Yeah.
Or we don't do anything to help public transit, we just make everything car centric. It's like, no, you can keep your car. Let's just try and make the public transit better so that for people who don't have the option to have a car, it's not a 4-hour fucking trip.
Yeah, we can lower
doctor's
the amount of car.
Yeah.
Like, nobody tells people in New York don't have a car. They just say it's generally ill-advised to have a car in New York.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I go to Toronto fairly regularly. Our move is when we get to the hotel, we put the car in parking and we never touch it while we're there. Because fuck that noise. You like, there's like, in any city, there's just so much that you can just walk to from where you are. And if you can't walk there, it'll have public transit.
Zero Life just like, suburbs be like, but me. Yeah, if we built less suburbs,
you,
I'd be
suburbs.
super happy.
Yeah. Yeah, so this isn't an all or nothing thing. We're not saying you have to give up your car in order to make public transit better. We're saying let's make public transit better so that you don't feel like having a car is such a necessity. Because a lot of people can't afford cars.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I have friends in New York who the only reason they can survive in New York is because they don't have a vehicle they have to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
When you made your smoothie.
And then Trump's blood clot responded to this thread.
It's a good thing.
Are you with me, Cyrus?
So apparently when I made my smoothie today, I fucked up and left the milk out.
Oh.
So
That's an expensive fuck up nowadays.
that was Saki letting me know that mistakes were made.
That's a big mistake.
It is a big mistake. It is a mistake I ought not make again.
Should be ashamed of yourself.
I am ashamed of myself.
So Trump's blood clot says, well, first off, I would say with a username like that, why aren't you doing your fucking job? Why are you staying in the leg? You got to move. But he says, I've never understood the urge to bring infants/children/ the entire extended family to the grocery. We never did that. It's obnoxious and slows everything down for everyone. One person in and out, that's all you need. If you cannot find one person in your life to be with your children for an hour, ...
I mean, there's plenty of people who can't. Say you moved into a new store, like you moved into a new area. Let's say that you're the one black person and everybody around you is white and gives you weird looks. Like, I mean, there's
or
plenty
your
of
wife
reasons.
who's been looking after the kids all day is fucking exhausted and would like a break, and so you take the kids to the store to give her a break for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Like, okay, so I simultaneously agree with the sentiment of I fucking hate your kids. Please stop bringing them near me.
Yeah.
And also, there's plenty of reasons why someone would do that. And if you can't either understand or empathize with those reasons, then just don't be in public with people. But at the same time, fuck bringing your kids out.
Yeah, no,
They shrieked and yelled when I was near. Fuck off.
No, I agree. I hate it when there are people, but you know what? It's usually not the people with kids that are physically in my way. It's usually the single people that think they're being in and out. It's like, yeah, no, I don't like your kids in the grocery store, but like they're small and can be avoided. But it's the single person who thinks they're being in and out that will put their cart diagonally across the whole fucking aisle.
Yep.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen a parent do that.
Scarlet Eclipse says playpens for kids used to be a thing. Bring that back. I can agree with that.
Yeah, you know what? I remember that. They used to have kids. IKEA still has that. The problem with IKEA, though, is that they put a time limit on it. So if you... And like, the time limit is not enough time for you to go through the whole store, and you know how they have that, like, you got to follow the arrows and get through the whole thing. So like if you don't want to actually be rushing through.
Tal says, how about kid leashes? Kid leashes don't make the kids shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they do.
Like
not.
my problem with your little snot goblin being out in public has nothing to do with them inconveniencing me.
Also,
I think they're
also the time frame where they can be put in a leash and can't just undo the clip themselves is it like that's a small window.
okay. So all you need to do is not teach them how to do a knot and use a correct knot, and then problem solved. Anyway,
I guarantee you, my kids would figure out how to undo those buckles. It's not. It's not a knot. It's a buckle.
My thing is the leash doesn't shut the kid up. The leash doesn't stop the.
So,
my problem with kids
leash
in
and
public,
ball gag.
well, we're teaching them early, I guess. But no, my problem with kids in general is a problem of volume. I can't stand going out in public and having my entire brain stop and fry for a second because somebody's kid decided that they wanted to treat. This shit happened at the card shop
and you're
yesterday.
You're not diagnosed autistic.
No.
Okay.
Shit happened yesterday. Somebody's kid, there was a Lorcana tournament, which is the Disney card game. And it was going on side by side with the Riftbound Nexus night. And one of the parents had their kid there, which is not normally a problem, and their kid decided to shriek. But they decided to mimic Chester from Linkin Park and see how long they could hold the note for. And it took 10 seconds for one of the parents to turn to the kid and ask them to stop.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That sounds like something that my kids would do. And it also, I am not sure that I would tell them to stop right away either, because they are so loud so much of the time that honestly, like, it depends on the child. Like sometimes.
Also, Fenix says get earplugs. No, this is Angry Cirrus. I have to respond to that right now. No, if I want to walk outside, I should not have to put earplugs in to exist out in the world. No. I'm sorry. Also, I don't know that somebody is going to shriek in my eardrum until after it has happened.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I think it's also the proximity, the fact that it happened yesterday. Like, if I have to consider someone else's need to bring their crotch goblin out, and I will, then they should consider my need to not have my ears raped.
Yeah, but speaking as someone who has crotch goblins that are sometimes impossible to control volume-wise, I guarantee you I am suffering more than you are in that scenario.
Yeah, that's fine. I am not... Fennec is also saying you are not guaranteed a child-free life.
Nope.
I didn't say that I was, but thank you for misconstruing my pain. That's cool. Children are people. Yes, I agree that they are people. In no point in any of my conversation have I said that they are not people. Not even once. Again, thank you for misconstruing. And have a right to exist in public the same as you. I agree they have a right to exist in public. But much like how my right to swing my fist ends at somebody else's nose, my right to exist in public also should not mean that there is a level of pain I must also deal with at the same time. Like, I'm sorry,
yeah,
no.
but it's just a fact of life that you're going to have to get used to, Cyrus.
Understandable, and I reserve the right to complain about it and not be told that I'm being dehumanizing for complaining about being in pain. No, that's not a thing I will tolerate. Literally ever.
Moving on. So I took a screenshot of this, and then I realized that Elon Musk had pinned this tweet. He was so proud of it. So I went back and retook the screenshot to show you all that he pinned it. So someone made Grok do a scene from Homer's Odyssey.
This is the like anti-woke Odyssey stuff?
Yeah. So Elon Musk says, before this year ends, Grok Imagine will make a full-length movie of the Odyssey that is historically accurate and true to the art of Homer.
But the Odyssey wasn't a historical event.
Sure. We know that, and that's worth clowning on for sure. We'll get to that. But like, can we start with what country was the Odyssey written about and in?
Greece?
What color is this lady's hair?
Not black.
Do you know many red-headed Greek people? Like, I'm sure they exist.
Not offhand.
I'm sure they exist. But, like, this lady looks Irish or Scottish. That don't look Greek to me. So, like, if, like, they're complaining that Helen of Troy is black, that wouldn't have been historically accurate, as if Helen of Troy was a historical person.
Like, who gives a shit?
Because that's the next part of this. You're talking about a story with fucking sirens and cyclopses and gods and demons and fucking skeletons chasing after people. Like, there is no history here to be accurate to. It is fiction, my guy.
Yep. Like, this is like people getting mad about Black Snape. It's a fucking fictional story.
I mean, at least
okay
Black Snape has some issues that are legitimate, like having. I forget what I fucking forget, but there are actually like legitimate issues with, but like they're nothing that J.K. Rowling would have fucking considered. The person who names her only Asian character Cho Chang is not going to care about that. I don't consider
Mrs. Kingsley Shacklebolt to be the arbiter of anything race in her books.
No.
Nor do I have to consider her opinions.
No. But yeah, no, there are actual issues with that, but like none of them are the same as the issues making Helen of Troy black. Because that's not an issue. This is just 100% fictional character that skin color does not matter for the story. And Olivia says Helen was born of an egg. She could be black. Yeah.
Who knows?
And you know what? It's not impossible for a Greek person to have red hair. This Greek lady in this thing could have had red hair. That could have been a historically accurate thing. Not very likely, but it's possible. Just like Helen of Troy actually being black. Not very likely, but possible. So, yeah. And this is the tweet that Elon was so proud of that he pinned it to his profile.
Yeah, because he loves making sure that everybody knows that he's the whitest, whiteyest, white, whoever whited a white.
And Sakura is saying, so black redhead? That is also possible and does happen sometimes. Again, not very frequently, but it is a thing that happens. Frank Turek says, why wouldn't someone want Christianity to be true?
Because that means hell exists, and that means there's a God who conceived of hell.
Yeah.
Because that means that there's a guy who's all-powerful and all-knowing and still thought that childhood malaria was okay.
Yeah. Like that's pretty much the big thing. If Christianity is true, then that means good people get tortured for an eternity, same as some of the worst people of history. And I can't even say Hitler for sure because he certainly professed Christianity. I mean, Christianity says you can get forgiveness for anything, no matter how bad.
There's a reason that one of the lines in A Short Stay in Hell, when the guy is when the demon is talking to some Christians, wow, you think an actual all-loving God would think of a place like hell where you're tortured for all eternity? My God, you guys are creative.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that's why I wouldn't want Christianity to be true, because I am a better person than the Christian God.
Yeah, remember the challenge of make a book that is more moral than the Bible? All right, the Bible, but we don't condone rape.
The Bible, but take out the pro-slavery passages. And hey, while we're at it, let's take one of the 4 commandments that are to suck God's dick and turn that into thou shalt not own other people as property.
Fennec says, Cyrus, I'm sorry, I kind of get fed up with people who complain about children being children in public and then using that to imply or outright say children have zero right to exist in public and jump to conclusions. Completely understandable. I understand having a knee-jerk reaction to a set of stimuli. Like, I do the same thing. It happens a lot.
Hey,
we're okay, Fennec.
Remember earlier in this stream when I was complaining about video games putting the eating noise directly in your ear? Guess what the kids that I live with make as their noise when they're eating all the time?
They do know that it bothers you.
Yes. And they do not care.
Yeah, my final thing on that, I will never tell somebody that they cannot have their child existing in public.
I am bringing my kids to your house, Cirrus.
But I will. Well, my house isn't public. I can kick your kids out.
Nope. I am breaking in with them.
We're a little stand your groundy for that, my guy. Maybe don't. Maybe at least give me a warning before you.
You know what?
in.
I'm pro-abortion. It's okay.
Oh God, no! Jesus Christ. But no, my thing is, in that moment when I'm experiencing that pain, I don't give a shit. Nor do I feel the need to give a shit. I can provide myself the opportunity to give a shit once that pain has passed.
Yeah.
Once
Okay.
I've processed it.
Maybe I can change this to something people can relate to. Driving. Do you know how many times I've thought, man, that guy's an idiot, about someone who is actually doing something that is actually a lot safer than what I'm doing? Because they're not going as fast as I want to go or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, objectively, what they are doing is less idiotic than what I am doing. But I am mad at them and calling them an idiot.
Yup.
So, like, it's kind of the same thing there. You're allowed to be mad at it. Actually, I have a lot less reason to be mad at the idiotic drivers in that scenario than Cirrus does with the kids. But, arguably, depending on the scenario.
Yeah. Also, just one other thing on the headphones thing. I actually keep 2 sets of headphones in my car specifically for these reasons. So, because of the pain that can get caused.
So I have worn noise canceling headphones to the store when picking up prescriptions, and when I have to talk to someone, I put them in transparency mode so that I not only can you hear what the other person is saying, but it actually amplifies it a little bit, makes it easier to hear.
Yeah, it's the same as the earphones you wear on the gun range.
Yeah, but there was a person at the pharmacy once that she was not speaking clearly whatsoever, and because I had to keep asking her to repeat herself, eventually she was like, well, maybe if you took off your headphones. I'm like, no, they're in transparency mode where they're actually making you more clear than it would be if I took them off. So you just need to speak louder and clearer.
Jet says, Cirrus, if you plan to be a father, you should probably learn to tolerate children in public places. All right, we're going to begin and end this with fuck you. It's called pain. If I'm in pain, so I'm going to act like a guy in pain.
Here's the thing. I know Cirrus's pain. I have the same sensory issues when it comes to kids making loud noise. I have 5 children. There are sometimes, I don't like the pain that the noise causes me. I am able to tolerate it when necessary, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. So that it's okay for Cirrus to complain about it. We are a safe space here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do this.
Seriously,
hold my feet to the fire
for you to have gotten so much fucking flack for just saying kids being loud in public is bad. How many times on this stream have I joked about murdering my children as a form of late-term abortion? I have actually joked about murdering my own children, and I have not gotten half the flack that you have for being like, when they scream in public, it's kind of annoying.
Instead, I'm not being public. I literally spelled it. Jet, there's no way for me to know that that's not a typo. There's literally no way for me to know that's not a typo. That could just be a typo.
And, Inquisitive Infidel for $2 says the Bible is barren of morals and facts. It's not barren of them, it's just most of the good ones are contradicted elsewhere. Because, there are a couple good things in there.
I will say, I don't think the golden rule is bad. I think the golden rule is inadequate.
Yeah.
I think that the standard of do unto others as you would have them do unto you is infinitely worse than do unto others as they would have you do unto them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are a self-deprecating person that thinks that you deserve to be hit in public, then maybe I don't want you to do to me as you would have me do to you.
Or if you're a self-deprecating person who says, oh, I'm not worthy, I deserve eternal torture in hell for the crime of being born with original sin.
Yeah, I'm not super into that kind of my brain gets blasted on the pavement because somebody did unto me the way they wanted me doing unto them. I don't want that. I would rather do to somebody as they would have me do to them. Within reason. If they want me to suck their dick in public, I'm not going to do that.
But in private, though.
It depends. Is it a girl?
You saw my eyebrows, Cirrus. You know what this is about.
Ah, so you're not a girl. Got it. Then no.
I could be for a day.
This is time 612 that I've denied your sexual advances.
Eventually, you're going to have to go to PR, Cirrus. No,
You
not
mean
PR.
HR?
HR, that's the one. We were talking about PR earlier, so... no, but anyway, this reminded me. The lead programmer for Hollow Knight and Silksong came out as trans.
Okay. They're a programmer, right?
Yeah.
So
She.
this isn't a surprise.
Sure.
Okay, I am going to get Saki programmer socks. I have to.
Okay.
Is person programmer. Is person programming thing. You are literally one garment away from HRT. I promise you.
Well,
John T. Jackalope says, why, yes, go ahead and have public relations.
okay, there we go. Take me to PR, Cirrus. Anyway, moving on. The Institute for Creation Research says, in the biblical model, creation occurred thousands of years ago, and God saw that everything was very good, including the snake that he made that was going to make everything go to shit.
Yeah.
This is where the creation... Sorry.
I had somebody arguing with me in my on the Necosaurus Live channel when we had our conversation about free will, saying that, like, no, being omniscient and all powerful doesn't mean that I don't have free will. I just went, my guy, you just explained the illusion of free will, not actually having free will.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but no, that's not how this works.
Well, so the track I want to take with this is, so you know that creationist argument where they're like, oh, evolution can't be true because that means that there were millions of years of suffering and death that God called good. It's like, okay, but the story as written has the most evil being in existence being called good because he was part of that creation. I mean, if you want to go with the actual story and how it's written, it's just a snake. It's just a talking snake. There is no demon there. There is no devil there. It's not Satan. That was a later Christian interpolation. But, like, the modern Christian interpretation is everything, including this demon that I know is going to cause immense amounts of pain and suffering and be the most evil being in all of creation, is good.
I need to... you know what? Hold on. I was actually thinking about this earlier because me and a friend of mine in the car got in this argument in the car. How many versions of Judas's death are there?
2 that I'm aware of. I mean, there might be more in the Apocrypha.
So outside of the Apocrypha, because like not things like that.
I mean, there's a whole Gospel of Judas in the Apocrypha.
Well, yeah, and the Gospel of Judas is also far more kind to Judas.
Yes.
But okay, so
it's Jesus Christ Superstar Judas.
We have the version where he hangs himself, and the version where his guts spill out.
Mm-hmm.
Where did his guts spill out?
In the field of blood.
In the field of blood. And where is the field of blood? Is this a field that he's personally tilling, or...
I get the 2 stories confused. I think in the Acts version, he bought the field with his own money, and then he went to the field, and that's where he fell and his guts spilled out, and that is why it is called the field of blood.
Okay.
And in Matthew, he hangs himself, and then like he throws the money to the priests, then he goes off and hangs himself, and then the priests buy a field. It does not say that it is the field that he hanged himself in. They just buy a field. But because the field was bought with blood money, that field is called the field of blood.
Okay. So the version of that to square those 2 stories together when I was a kid growing up in Pensacola Christian Academy was that
I know this version.
When he was hung, when they was cut down, falling out of the tree called his intestines to spill out, and then the field was bought with the blood money.
Yeah. So not necessarily that it was cut down, but he hanged himself, and then his corpse just stayed there hanging for several days, and it bloated up as corpses do, and eventually the rope gave way or the branch snapped, and because it's a bloated corpse, when it hit the ground, it burst open.
Yeah. So when we were having the conversation, my brain was in this is the version I know literally from being told this in my childhood from my teachers, where there are two stories in the same way that there are four stories of Jesus's life, but they are synthesized into one story depending on who is doing it. And the version that I remembered was
who had the money when they bought the field.
Who had the money when they bought the field? The one that I was told was the guards.
Do you mean the priests?
Priests, guards, Pharisees, the people who found him.
Did they ever try to harmonize that one? Because that has some attempts at harmonization. Because Acts explicitly says that he bought the field with the reward of his wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Matthew says that he threw the money into the temple and then the priest bought the field.
Yeah. The version that I had was because so when Pensacola Christian Academy is teaching these stories in the Bible, they have like these painted pictures that they show for each one so you can visualize the Bible stories. And I remember explicitly them having one where Judas is like casting the silver coins. So that's the version that we were given.
That's the most striking one. So they say that the priest had the money. But the issue is that it explicitly says that he bought the field in one, and it explicitly says the priest bought the field in the other. And the harmonization for that is generally that because it was blood money that had been given to Judas, the fact that he gave it back to the priest didn't count, so it was still technically Judas's money.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which, no, that does not sound fair enough. Olivia Williams for $6.99 says the problem is that it says he fell head first, and a hangman wouldn't be head first by definition. So I've never really liked that response to this, because I could see a hanging body, like if it falls and his feet hit the trunk on the way down or something, it could flip over and be head first by the time it hits the ground.
Literally, so like, Judas, do a flip.
Yeah. Do a barrel roll.
God, the remake for that game is so good.
So I don't necessarily see that as big a problem as who bought the fucking field in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But also, either way, this is an instance where like apologetics is this weird thing where like if we argue that because no book ever recorded this happening, we have to we assume that it didn't happen because nobody ever said it did, they'll like yell at us about making an argument for silence. But like they never look at how many details they have to add to their own stories in order to make them make sense. Like just from an Occam's razor perspective, two different communities were making sense of a similar legend in different ways makes a lot more sense than, you know, like the story in Acts the story in Acts just completely neglects to mention that he actually killed himself, not that he just fell down, and that the story in Matthew neglects to mention that his body exploded upon impact.
Well, also the story in Acts is a story of hearsay, whereas the story in Matthew is a story that's supposed to be contemporary, because Matthew is supposed to be theoretically supposed to be one of the disciples.
I was gonna say he never claims to have been contemporary,
right?
That's entirely church tradition bullshit.
But church tradition is that Matthew is a contemporary, as in he's a disciple, and therefore he's one of the ones who wrote, whereas in Acts it is
was
Luke,
written
the
by
doctor,
Luke
who's writing. Different Luke. The Luke who accompanied Paul is the one who wrote Acts, not Luke the disciple.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever. I don't even remember how we got to Judas, but moving on. Oh, this is pulling out my own text messages. There's a place in Port Coburn, and it's important that you know that it's called Cum Ho Tire. And I was so distracted the first time I drove past it by the fact that it's called Cum Ho Tire that I completely missed that it has a big Jesus loves you sign on their lot. So I was so distracted by the cum ho that I missed Jesus.
Come ho, sweet cherry.
Oh, why you gotta be such a cum-ho, sirs? And the thing that makes me feel bad about this is that that is probably their last name. So there are women going around the earth with the last name cum-ho.
Hello, my name is Sally Cumho. Well, I know what you do on Wednesdays.
Progress Only is trying to rain on this parade by saying it's pronounced Kumo. It's spelled cum-ho. I'm sorry, it's cum-ho.
Tagalea says the four Gospels, fun fact, were written at least 30 years after the crucifixion of Jesus. Oh, believe me.
Yeah, we know that.
Rhino and I do know that one. And I think John is the one that's written the furthest out, right?
Yeah, John. Well, yeah, but John didn't mention Judas' death at all.
No. But in general,
So
like
Mark,
in terms of
Mark was
away.
first. Mark was first. It was written probably around 70 CE, if not shortly after that.
And then
Matthew and Luke would have been written sometime in the 80s or 90s, and John was written anytime between 90 and 120.
The 121 always makes the most sense to me because the further you get from it, the more it makes sense that, like, outside of the zombie apocalypse in Matthew, John has more mystical shit in it
we also
than the
have
other
to
ones.
We also have to consider that these guys are writing to different audiences. So, like, I think it's Luke was actually writing to a Gentile community of Christians, whereas Matthew was writing to Jewish Christians, and so there are differences in there. Like, I might have it backwards. I always get them mixed up, but like one of them was like correcting some of the Jewish stuff that was wrong in the other one. And I don't know.
It's Luke for the Gentiles, Matthew for the Jewish.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've actually looked into this, so I don't take what I'm saying with a grain of salt at the moment. But yeah, it's because they have different audiences. You can see them massaging the story in different ways. But that also means that these stories might have been developing somewhat independently from each other in their own local communities. Like, obviously, they have a lot of the same stories, but like their takes on it are slightly different because that's how it developed in that community. And like the Joanian community clearly thought of Jesus as more of a God character than the Markan community, to whom he's just a guy that was adopted by God. Mark could go either way. It could be at his baptism or his resurrection, or his, sorry, his, yeah, I guess it would have been, no, it wouldn't have been his resurrection. That's not in Mark. Yeah, I think it was his baptism then in Mark. Right, it's Paul who was writing to the Romans before Mark was written that he wrote that Jesus was made the Son of God by his resurrection. Like, he was declared the Son of God by his resurrection. So that's where you kind of get the increase in Christology as time goes on. You see, like, Paul writing to the Roman Christians very early. We don't think that Paul believed this himself. He was just writing what would have been familiar doctrine to them and wasn't heretical enough to him that he couldn't write it. But we saw Paul writing later that when he's writing to the Romans, he's talking about how Jesus was declared to be the Son of God by his resurrection. Then when he's writing to the Philippians, he's talking about how Jesus has always existed and he didn't consider equality with God a thing to be grasped, but he came down and humbled himself. And because of that, because of his obedience, then he was exalted to be equal with God at that point, at his ascension. Or no, maybe it was slightly earlier. But anyway, as the books get later and later, you can see the moment of Jesus being divine being pushed earlier and earlier until you finally get to John, the latest book. He is the Word, and the Word is with God, and the Word has always been, like, right from the first verse, he is God already. And then there's also a bunch of stuff in John that, like, he seems to be going out of his way to be like, oh, the other Gospels say this? That's not how it goes. My Jesus is stronger than that. Like the Garden of Gethsemane, that's completely absent from John. And notably, all the other instances of Gethsemane end with him being like, you know, Father, it's sometime in the middle. He's like, Father, please take this cup away from me. But like, if you don't want to, I'll do your will, but please take this cup away from me. Whereas John's Jesus, the people show up and there is no Gethsemane. And he says, in what seems to be a reference to the other books, He says, "Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me? There's no doubt. I don't want you to take the cup away from me. I'm just going to drink it." So like John's Jesus is specifically tweaked to counter some of the complaints that were set up with the other Jesuses. But don't ask the Christians about this because they don't usually like it.
I like knowledge. You know what I like more than my Ferrari? Knowledge.
You know what? I do like knowledge more than a Ferrari. I have driven a Ferrari. It is fun, but fun is fleeting. I mean,
Also,
that kind
in
of
how many places are you going to be able to floor it on that thing?
Oh, almost never. I do still have fun in my little electric car. Occasionally I'll be beside like some muscle car or sports car or whatever that's like revving its engine, and I can always out accelerate them, but I don't. They usually speed faster than me, so like I get way out in front, but then they pass me later, and I just kind of like,
If anything says Ferraris aren't as fun as a BMW. I need to find the video.
Ferraris have signals though.
I need to find the video of the like really positive, like really trans positive, but really fucking weird guy who's just going like, cis women are like Lamborghini, trans women like Ferrari. I like Ferrari. I need to find that video and play it for everybody. It's great.
I don't know why, but I was picturing one of the little forklift trucks from Cars saying that, because they're obsessed with Ferraris too. Anyway, moving on. Mike Winger says, "Remind me again what religion is best known for cutting the heads off people in the name of their religion?" I know it's a hard question.
Is it during the Crusades? Because
Yeah.
like, if so, Christianity.
Well, I mean, nowadays I feel like Christianity is more well known for burning people alive at the stake in the name of their religion.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, no, there's violence from a lot of religions.
I found the video. I found it.
Are you about to send it to me?
Yes, I am.
God damn it.
We're going to subject everybody to this. It's wonderful.
Is there music?
I don't think so.
Okay.
17 seconds. This is a tweet, so it's a tweet.
Only when you try it, you know the difference between a Ferrari or normal car. Transgender is like Ferrari, and I like Ferrari. Like when you drive one Ferrari. Only when you try it, you know the difference between a Ferrari or normal car. Transgender is like Ferrari, and I like Ferrari.
I love him. I love him. He's great.
I like Ferrari. You know what? I do not revise my mental image. He is one of the forklift cars from Cars.
Yeah.
I like a Ferrari.
He is fantastic.
But anyway, back to Mike Winger, which is, you know.
Nice engine sounds, aka your trans cat girl is purring.
Oh, I saw someone post about how their cat, like, you know, only a cat could nap for 18 hours a day, do nothing when they're awake but eat and drink and lounge around and then still be tired. And I took a screenshot of that and sent it to my partner, who was like, "You're my house cat." Because she naps a lot. I probably haven't said that on the stream before, so I realize that doesn't make sense to anyone who doesn't actually know. She's got low iron, so she's always tired. Anyway, I think Mike Winger's next as well. So he says, "In Afghanistan, you can marry a girl of any age. This is because of Sharia law and the standards set by Muhammad. They also view silence as consent for any female past puberty. You can thank Islam for that."
You know, silence as consent is also in the Bible.
That's
literally
explicitly it is in the Bible. That's probably where the Muslims got it from.
If she didn't scream, it's not rape.
Yeah.
Is in the Bible.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. But also, do you know how many states have outlawed child marriage as of now?
17.
17. You have that number on the top of your head. So I feel like that's that's either means you have conversations like this a lot, or I should be very concerned right now. like those guys that like walk around with the cards with age of consent laws on them.
Jesus Christ. No, it's because of the Tennessee thing.
Yeah.
If you remember when Tennessee tried to get their like super special kind of marriage,
and all the Christians were like, "No, we need to keep that." But so here's
Yeah.
the thing: I did a little. So most states, the children that are allowed to get married are between 15 and 17. But there are 3 states for which there is no minimum age, which means in the United States, you can marry a girl of any age.
that is a true statement.
Didn't Jesus say something about taking the log out of your own eye before you look for the speck in someone else's?
You know, that phrase always confuses me for exactly one reason.
The logistics?
Who the fuck is surviving a log through their eye?
I've always wondered, how does a log get stuck in your eye in such a way that, like, you can be walking around having a normal day with just, like, a tree stump just sticking out of your face? Like, I never pictured it as, like, being penetrating, just, like, kind of on the surface, but stuck there. It's still a weird saying. So he's saying, Olivia Williams is saying Numbers 31, 17 through 18. I don't know offhand, but I'm guessing that's the one about taking children prisoners as sex slaves, where Moses is like, "Oh, take all the young girls who haven't known a man by sleeping with them for yourselves." Because I actually know how Mike responds to that one, because I did a video where he covered that. Fun fact, he actually got his genocides mixed up in that one.
Every now and again, I want to go back and respond to Mike Winger's secular argument against homosexuality video. But then I remember that I have other things to do in my life.
Maybe I will. I'm not familiar with that one, but I know that there really isn't one. Not if you actually know the data.
Yeah, so he tried to use the data, saying like, "Oh, your chance of suicide goes up. Oh, your chance of STDs goes up." He didn't contextualize any of the reasons why.
Chance of suicide goes up because of assholes like you.
Chance of STDs goes up for a variety of reasons, but one of them
mostly
is
lack of education.
Lack of education, where we believe that condoms are mostly for contraception stopping and not necessarily for stopping of diseases. Also, because of assholes like him, because when you stigmatize sex in general, you make it harder for people to get tested so that they can figure out if they will be able to be together without any issue.
Yeah. Yep. Also, my personal favorite is the one where, like, oh, if you have anal sex, then you are, like, 6% more likely to experience fecal incontinence when you're older.
Yeah, but it's like 6% of a fraction of a percentage that it already existed.
I love how you already know the arguments are so weak and vapid that both of us can just rattle them off the top of our heads.
Because we've been doing this for years.
Well, it's also like, even if it goes from 0% to 6%, like that's not huge. Like, it is a huge increase, but like, that's in absolute numbers, that's not huge. Also, the article that everybody goes to for that one, they actually make no mention of like frequency. So like, if you put something in your butt one time in your life, are you now 6% more likely to have incontinence, or is this a regular thing? Like, what is the frequency where there is actually a difference? That is a question that just goes unanswered. But at the same time, like, even if we take the numbers at face value, the guy who wrote the article on it, as far as I can tell, he's straight. He's got a wife, he's got kids. He hasn't said anything about being into guys. But like, maybe someone who isn't straight, maybe someone who is gay, it's like, that is a form of intimacy that I get with my partner. And if that comes with a slightly increased risk of incontinence when I'm older, I will accept that because it allows me to have more intimacy with my partner. Because like, straight sex comes with risks as well. I got 5 of them. Like I feel like a kid is a bigger commitment than just being anally incontinent for a few years toward the end.
Yeah.
Like, depends are a lot cheaper than children are. Just saying.
Oh my fucking god. Laura Loomer is actually developing a brain.
You saw that?
I
I
just
considered
saw it.
pulling that for this. For those of you who don't know, she went to Ukraine, and then she was like, "Holy shit! When it affected me, I suddenly understand that it's bad there." And
Yeah,
maybe we shouldn't condemn them all because some of them were Nazis once.
Yeah, the exact quote is, just experienced my first air raid in Ukraine. Sirens blaring. This is every day for every Ukrainian. I feel like such an asshole for minimizing the struggle of Ukrainians for the last
As she
5
should.
years. I often said I don't care. Looking back, that wasn't very nice of me to say. I feel like there's a better way you could have worded that. There are people in Ukraine who have to run to a bomb shelter every day, and some of us have had the audacity to say Russia wasn't wrong because we believe the lie that Ukraine is a country full of Nazi sympathizers. We have been so propagandized by Russia, and we didn't even realize it yet. Holy shit, Laura, you figured it out.
I mean, did she figure it out, or was it just another case of I don't care until it affects me personally?
I think it's the latter, but it's being viewed through the lens of the former.
Yeah. Because the reason I chose not to pull that tweet for tonight is because I felt like that would end up with us doing too much handing it to Laura Loomer, which we do not have to do.
Oh, no, I'm not going to hand it to Laura Loomer. Absolutely fucking not.
Okay.
There's too many things that she needs to come to account for before I can hand it to her for that shit.
Yeah, but hopefully this will actually convince some people on the right that, like, hey, maybe we should not be on Russia's side in their war of aggression. Moving on, Patrick Casey said, look at the profile picture before we read it. He says, moderate Democrat of color here. I don't support Trump, but I think the SAVE Act would be good for our democracy.
It's another one of those. Oh my god, he forgot to go on his alt account.
He forgot to go on his alt account. So I took a screenshot of his thing. So his not alt account is writer and host of Restoring Order, moderate paleo-conservative. He writes for Chronicles Mag. I don't know. He's a conservative. He's being followed by William Wolf and Laura Loomer. And he just forgot to switch to his alt account to post about how he's a moderate Democrat of color who doesn't support Trump but thinks the SAVE Act is good. So, yeah, that's what Democrats of color look like when they agree with Trump.
Yeah, he's a moderate Democrat of color, too.
Something else says, okay, so a person posted asking for, like, they were challenging people. Like, if you think there's a sex scene in a movie that is gratuitous and unnecessary, you tell me the sex scene and I will explain to you why it was actually necessary. And this person responded with, any sex scene in general, unless it's actually important for the movie's context, it's just better to just imply it or provide an exposition that they did it. Also, the fact that you're trying to debate it is just textbook rapist mindset. Like, sometimes I just like to watch hot people fuck. And it doesn't have to be a pornographic thing. It's just, I'm watching a movie, they're hot people, there should be sex here, so we see some skin, and then we move on. Like grown-ass adults. That is not rapist mindset.
It's entertainment.
Yeah. People are...
So...
I just... It was that last line that took me, though. Like, it's textbook rapist mindset to be like, sometimes a sex scene actually helps a movie out.
Sometimes the reason that you go back... So, I remember being a kid and there being movies that I went back to just because they had sex scenes, and I was trying to figure that shit out.
We're not talking about that, because we all know, those of us who grew up in the days of VHS and dial-up internet or before, having the racy sex scene was...
Mine was Species.
I'm embarrassed to say that it was just the nude scene of Kate Winslet in Titanic.
I mean, okay, technically, if we're counting nude scenes as well, then it's Mila Jovovich's nip slip from Resident Evil.
So there's like 2 frames in Titanic where when you're going forward frame by frame on the VCR, you can see what might just be a shadow, but it might also be pubic hair. It's hard to tell on the TV with the
when it's a CRT in your Lewin VHS.
But I mean, that's the joy of CRT. It lets your imagination fill in the details. I wanted it to be pubic hair, so it was pubic hair.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyway, movies are entertainment, man. People take them too seriously sometimes. Like,
anyway, I'm gonna tell you why utilitarianism is wrong because of Thanos existing, and I'm gonna say it's to Sam Cedar, and he's gonna dismiss me, and I'm gonna cry about it for a year straight. My beanie is too tight.
That was a Tim Pool reference for those who didn't get it. Yeah, no, I just like, movies you watch them to be entertained, and people are entertained by watching sex. You know what bothers me a lot more than sex scenes? Gratuitous violence. Car chases. I get bored by car chases. Okay, they drive fast. Can we just get to the destination now? I'm interested in the plot. I don't need to see all the spectacle.
Yeah, car chases don't really do it for me. Gratuitous violence, though, like,
I don't like it. So, like, honestly, I would much rather the movie have, like, flip the ratios. Make there be as much sex as there is gratuitous violence, and as much gratuitous violence as there is sex.
So we have a movie that's just sex and gratuitous violence?
Well, not just those things, but like the ratio of them is flipped. So like for every time there would be a shootout that doesn't really do anything for the plot, turned into a sex scene. And anytime there would have been a sex scene, that can be a shootout that would be no good for the plot. Dan Wynn says, I'm interested in the plot, says the guy defending sex scenes in movies. Okay, but if I'm watching a movie, I'm there for more than just the sex scene, unless I'm a horny teenager without access to the internet. So, like, yes, I enjoy watching the people have sex, but I'm not there to get off. So it can move on and get on to the plot. When I'm watching porn, I fast forward through all the plot crap, because usually the plot crap is like, hey, you are my daughter. And I'm like, fuck no.
So, like, the plot crap in porn is bad and cringe, but if you put it in a doujin, then suddenly it's less cringe to me, because usually it's actually, like, written like it's a story, and not the actual reason why we have plots in porn, which is that it's the one thing that stops them from becoming indecent or whatever the fuck the ruling was.
Oh, does plots in porn have to do with some obscure legal ruling?
Wait, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. I just assumed that there were people that like those scenarios.
No. So I don't remember. I'm Googling it to double check on the exact reason why. Right. So for pornography to be considered free speech under the First Amendment, plots were used to give them a buffer to meet the requirement of adult entertainment having demonstrable artistic value. It is not a legal requirement to have plot, but it is a thing that is used as a protection to stop them from being banned for being obscene.
Speak freely with my dick.
Sometimes when I pull it, the skin comes off.
That is art, Cirrus. You will not convince me otherwise. That is art. The sex scenes in that one are unnecessary. It's all the stuff surrounding them that is the art.
Also, there is one other thing that it protects against. Prostitution laws. In order to avoid a...
So just showing up on the street with a camera being like, if I film it, it's legal, right? That doesn't work.
Having the scripted scenario separates the transaction from being considered prostitution, because then you are considered an actor instead of a person selling sex.
so legally, according to American loophole laws, all movies are mainstream movies. Like, all porn is mainstream movies that just happen to have unsimulated sex acts in them.
I don't know
Because
if it necessarily goes
there are
that
also
far.
art house movies that have unsimulated sex in them that I would not like. That's not stuff that I could jerk off to usually.
If the pizza man really loves the babysitter, why does he keep slapping her rear? Maybe she's done something wrong.
Okay, moving on. Mr. Westford says, okay, so he posted a thing earlier where he said atheists prove atheism is true and I'll delete my account, and then a bunch of atheists responded to him with like, hey man, that's not how this works. Like, if you want me to believe in God, you got to prove your thing. Atheism is me just saying I don't believe you. And he interpreted that as atheists saying atheism is false.
No, we're saying it's not a positive claim. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, and this gets into my annoyance with the fucking burden of proof thing, where like, this isn't a formal debate. We're not speaking philosophically here. You're on fucking Twitter. Get over yourself. If you want to convince me that your God exists, then you need to bring stuff to the table. I am just saying I don't think you're right about your belief in God.
Yeah, I think you might be incorrect. Could you please prove me otherwise? Or rather, I don't believe you, so could you please prove that you're correct?
It's like that unsolvable math problem that I can't remember what it's called. Somebody's like, hey, I solved the unsolvable math problem. Then you say, okay, show us your proof. And you say, oh, no, I'm not showing you my proof. You just have to have faith that it's been solved. Okay, well, I don't believe you until you show me your proof. That does not make the I don't believe you stance being like, we are actually wrong when we say we don't believe you. I don't know how this guy's brain works.
Speaking of people whose brains I don't know how they work, did you know that RFK Jr. can't do math?
I'm not surprised.
He says that if you have a $600 drug and you reduce it to $10, that's a 600% reduction.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him trying to justify Trump's 600% thing.
By saying President Trump has a different way of calculating percentages, and fucking
Yep.
Elizabeth Warren's
That's
just like,
that's
no,
not how math works.
that's not how math works. You literally
You
called
don't
him
get
an
to
imbecile.
you don't get to alternative facts the math. Like, this isn't even statistics. Yes, you can mess with statistics and make them say whatever the fuck you want, but you can't do that with just straight up, this is how that calculation works.
Old Gus says, your grasp of theory is infantile at best. Have you considered the problem of bread? Perhaps somebody did something wrong. You're right, old Gus. Maybe we're slapping the person because they did something wrong.
Maybe. All right. Well, that is all for today. Are you still streaming after this?
No. There was other stuff that I wanted to cover, and I do not have the spoons at 11 o'clock.
Okay. So we will just call that. And as always, once I find my credits button, as always, fuck off. All right, then. Good night.
Yay, I'm free from being yelled at for not liking kids yelling in my ear.
Are they still going on that?
No.
Oh.
We've moved past that, but I'm never going to let it go.
All right. Let it go. Let it go. That's a
couldn't
song
stop
that I know
playing,
because I have kids.
I couldn't stop playing the soundtrack to that fucking
we're still
movie when
live.
it came out.
I think we're.
Are we?
Our mics are still hot.
Oh, hell yeah. Hi, everybody.
I haven't
I'm still
figured
mad
out
at
how to
you.
make that happen automatically on Linux yet. Hi, guys!
Hello,
I was
everybody.
singing again.
And I'm still holding you all to my last altercation.
Fuck off.